ina matatu, the dem na the boy are quite different. Dem anafikiria akisi wase wengi wengie kwa hii matatu ni madem ama wamama. Boy anafikiria bebe kuna ugali niliacha nitaenda niifufue. Niajeni wase mko chonjo. My name is Gatwiri Morioki. I'm a student, a podcaster and an upcoming content creator. I have a podcast called Perfectly I Am Perfect, available on all podcast streaming platforms. And I recently started content creation on Instagram as Gatwiri_Morioki, and you are watching Senses Africa with Evie Banks Art. So at the start I said that I'm a podcaster, and I stopped saying that I am an upcoming podcaster because now I feel like I've been there. I've been growing, and I feel like I'm at the point where I can call myself a podcaster. And my podcast is called Perfectly Imperfect, but it is a pun. So how you spell it is Perfectly I Am Perfect. Perfectly I Am Perfect. Yeah, it's a pun. And my podcast theme color is yellow. That's why I'm on brand. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. So yeah. I started my podcast on 14th March 2021, last year. After the whole COVID-19 break in 2020, we all know it was hell. I was home in Meru. We were locked. Yeah, so I remember I used to date when I was in Nikiwa campus. Nilikuwa na date this guy. Then now we went home and things became quite difficult. You used to seeing your boyfriend every day, and right now hamonani is just called. So things became so hard for us, and we just had to end things. But he just decided one day, he just woke up and he was like, hey, me, I can't do this anymore, I can't date you. You just keep on asking the reason. Like, I didn't even ask for the reason. Wow, I was just like, fine. I just typed okay. So character development, nimepigwa hii Kanairo. Ni one of the reasons I started that podcast. But it was more like dealing with my heartbreak. I was in a really dark place. I wouldn't say depressed because I was not, and I know what depression is like, and mine was not even close to that. But I was just in a dark place where I was not myself, and sitting at home idle. How so me? You don't have a job, you have nothing to do. I was like, I need a platform to impact people's life. I need a platform to tell my stories. I need a platform for people to come tell their stories for other people to hear, And that is how I decided to come up with a podcast. I'm just cutting the story short because I had thought of a blog. I'm not creative in writing. I had thought of a YouTube channel. Then the whole thing of ring lights, camera, I didn't have them. So I just had my phone na bundles. So I just nikakaa tu nikauliza, niko na simu na niko na bundles. What can I do with this? So I just sat and I decided, like, I'm not creative at writing. I rarely write captions, good captions. I can't even caption like a touchy message for your birthday. Me, I just write happy birthday code. And believe you me, I mean it from the deepest part of my heart. The whole thing about, a queen was born. No, but my sister is quite the person who has captions, quite the person who writes, and she's really funny in writing. Yeah, and I have a whole highlight on beginning saved on my Instagram. My username is Gatwiri_Morioki, so you can go check it out and see, issues about how I started the whole podcast thing. So I also coming back to school, I talked to people about, hey, by the 2020 nimekuwa aje. They were just like, me hadi karibu nikuwe depressed. Where I was just like, I need these stories to be heard. I need people to hear that they're not alone. The main aim of my podcast is for you to listen and know that you're not alone. It's for you to listen and know that siwe peke yako uko depressed. Na for you to see that apart from kukua depressed, you can move on from that depression. You can come out of that place, You don't always have to stay happy. That is the main reason I started my podcast. And my podcast is mostly based about relationships. I talk about relationships so much because Mimi, character development, your relationships, money count number 1, uko top list. I talk about my experiences on relationships because I've had to deal with all sorts of exes. The ex who you think is your boyfriend and your side chick number 100, the toxic ex, the ex who wakes up and decides to leave you on one day, the ex who thinks your body is not perfect. Yeah, so I talk about relationships so much. I talk about mental health, and I also have topics on Then one thing, I just have stories, stories of people. That is my main aim of reaching people, because stories make it feel more authentic. Because you'll hear, unajua sengine you hear somebody talking and you're like, oh my god, same, pia mimi, like that. So I just wanted stories to be relatable. And I also have, of course, topics that empower ladies. I have topics that create awareness on ladies about generally all the topics: sex, contraceptives. I just want you to be aware. I want you to know that you have the power. Like, you don't always have to make decisions alafu unajipata una regret. Yeah, so that is what mostly my podcast talk about. And I have a total of 37 episodes, and we are at 2.1k total plays. And we turned one. I think by the time this will be out, talk about share turn one, or if maybe not, we will turn one on 14th March. And you can get the link on my Instagram bio. You can choose your preferred. I've listed just all platforms. Unaweza choose kama ni Spotify, like that. And of course, you can give me feedback on my Instagram. Mi usoma DMs. Lakini ukianza kuniambia, I want to know you more, something you've never said to your Lord Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. I reply to all my DMs, especially feedback about my podcast, especially any question you might have if you want to share your story on my podcast, like that. And I'm really hoping that it will grow to be a brand. It will grow to be a safe space for people, not only ladies, a safe space for everyone, for men, for ladies, for children, a safe place. Anyone anaweza enda turn to your play button, askize, and their life will be impacted. Yeah, so slowly by slowly, I believe we are going to get there. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I'm a content creator. I'm an upcoming content creator because I just recently started content creation on Instagram mostly. That is where I feel like that is where my target audience is mostly. I want to reach youth, I want to reach girls, and of course Gen Z na millennials kitaka wapate tu pale Instagram wakiscroll. So that is where I am right now. That is where I base most of my content creation. And I'm loving my journey so far. Like, I'm not yet where I wanted to be, but I'm sure that I'm on the path to where I wanted to be. I feel like I'm convinced that this is the path I'm on, Sometimes when you're doing things and you're not sure about them, you're just going to feel it. Utaisikia tu, si hii nataka. And that is what I was speaking about when I said I wanted to start a platform, but I didn't know which one. I went ahead hadi nikaeka YouTube group ya wase wenye nataka tufanye YouTube, I wanted it to be something like East meets West, like that. And I just felt like no. So I just had to put and hold to that. And maybe later I can start such a platform on YouTube, but right now this is the platform I want to impact people first. This is what I want to do. I want people to know me like a brand. I want to be a brand, kitaja tu mental health unaambiwa by the way kuna msee anakuwa na podcast hizo stuff, like that, yeah. So I'm not where I wanted to be, but I'm sure I'm on the path that will lead to where I've always wanted to be. Yeah. My lowest point in life, if you've been kama umeikuwa na heartbreak, let us not discuss. That's like the worst place to be in. Okay. For me, that was my lowest point. I was at a point, and one thing about my, I think one thing about exes, when they want to leave you, they'll make sure ni kama wameku crash kabisa. So my ex left. The whole time you date, ni kama ako campaign. Akianza kuonyesha the true colors, ndio unaanza kuona tu red flag nyingine uli ignore. But when my ex was breaking up with me, he started making some things really obvious about my body, and he started kind of insinuating stuff he didn't like about my body. He started highlighting those things, and it nika imenirudisha square zero, nika imenirudisha to my 16-year-old self, where I had to go back to the mirror and start encouraging myself that all what he said was wrong about my body. So it was one of my lowest point, and of course I had invested my emotions and all that. And I've had two, and then last year when I lost my friend, to cancer. And I want to believe that I really don't like saying that she lost the battle to cancer. I love to say that she fought, she fought up to the end, because she fought cancer for 5 years very bravely. And I met her in primary school, and I'm telling you, my primary school life nikianza ilikuwa mbaya kidogo, but she was this kind of girl who used to carry my bucket for me. Forgot to mention that my dad bought me a huge bucket, and I was this tiny, hata sikuwa naweza kuibeba. So she came akaniuliza, "Oh, you're from Maua?" Pia mimi am from Maua. And she started taking care of me. Hadi nikilia alikuwa anaita, nikaenda kazini yangu. And now growing up nikajua kuna cancer I knew it in 2018. And nilikuwa high school, so finishing high school it was quite difficult traveling to Nairobi. And my mom, hata uwezi toka Meru kama you have to write my mom 5 good reasons, na by the time unafika kwa the second reason, the first one anakuambia hiyo it's not valid. So it became hard for me to come even visit her in the hospital. But sasa nikafika campus, she was doing quite fine. Alikuwa hata amerudi campus, she was in Tuk, alikuwa amerudi anasoma. So I remember during her last days, her last week actually, tulikuwa tumeongea on a Monday. I was like, I'll come visit. Oh no, it was on a Tuesday. I was like, I'll come visit you on Thursday. And she was like, fine, no problem, you'll come visit. I have her chats. Oh, I'm looking on this direction because my phone is on this direction. I have her chats on my phone. I haven't even nisijafika point yenye naweza let go of them. But we talked on Tuesday, akaniambia fine, come visit me on Thursday. Then on Wednesday, when I was just heading to school, I received a call from a mutual friend we have, and she told me, Sydney passed on today in the morning. Where I felt, hey, ilikuwa like ni kama your heart is made of glass, alafu imegongwa ika crash. Nilikuwa kwa matatu and tears just started flowing. I felt so hurt, honestly. That was the most hurt I have been, because I didn't even imagine why life will take Sydney away from me 24 hours to the day I wanted to go visit her. And I really wanted to go see how she was doing, because we used to talk oftenly on WhatsApp, but anytime I wanted to go visit or anytime niko free, she was admitted in hospital. And of course, because of COVID regulations and all that. And I remember we used to talk, and she used to tell me like, one day COVID itaisha and imagine tarudi to our normal lives. You guys can come visit me when you want. And I feel so bad that I don't even get to experience that with her. I feel bad that she doesn't even get to know that masks zimeisha and all that. So it was one of my lowest points, losing my friend, losing somebody you're so close age-wise. And now it hits you that death can take anyone away from you. But at the same point, it gives me strength, because I know that Sydney is in a better place, because I know she was in so much pain, and I know right now she's in a place where she's free from pain, and she left like good memories of her with us, because Sydney was the person with the best captions. Yeah, and I feel I'm actually really proud of her. I'm starting to come into terms with not saying that I lost her, and with saying that she's with me, but not just not physically. So those were my two most lowest points. Hizo zingine nili manage, lakini kuachwa hey. My greatest fear ni dogi. Nyie mshaikuza na mbwa kwa mteremko. Anyway, that's like, honestly, I fear dogs so much. I fear dogs, but my serious greatest fear is finishing my whole journey. And by finishing my whole journey is I feel ni kama reaching to the point of let's say I'm dying or whatever. I'm not saying that naweza kufa anytime soon, but like reaching to a point where I feel like I have not achieved what I've always wanted to achieve, my personal achievements. I feel like that will be my greatest fear, because I'm always the kind of person who goes for everything they believe in, who stands for everything they believe in. And now when I'm at that point where I feel like, no, this was not me, or I didn't invest fully in this, or somebody tried to put me down na nikaenda chini, that's my greatest fear, honestly. Yeah. In the next 5 to 10 years, I want to have reached a point where I feel like I have fulfilled everything I wanted to fulfill career-wise. And by career-wise, I mean the direction that I want to take as a content creator, as a podcaster. I want to have a place, a safe space where I can host. I've always wanted to have a place where I can host podcasters, and make it as affordable as possible, because I know how hard it is to find a venue, to find a good production team. Then I also want to have reached a point where I feel that I am ready for a new person in my life. Not even that hata sidhani in the next 5 years, but I want to develop myself in the sense that mtu mwingine akikuja, I don't have them trying to help me heal from my past experiences. Nataka wanipate kama nisha heal from all my past experiences and traumas, and like just a new beginning. I also see myself as a mom and a wife. Just a great podcaster, a mom and a wife with kids and all that. And I think that's the direction I want my life to take in the next 5 to 10 years. Being on set with Evie Banksat has been a great experience. This is my first interview, like one-on-one, and it's been great, like being in front of a camera. I just hope you guys have not been making weird facial expressions nijipate kwa memes, but it's been great. He's really polite, and he's really like, he's taking his time, he's asking you uko sawa, cut, uko sawa, nini, and of course like on some juice. So the hospitality here is really great. I love being on set. I would love to be here again and again. It's been a great experience. You can reach my podcast. You can go to Instagram first of all. Follow me. Support a content creator. I'm on Instagram as Gatwiri_Morioki. You can find my podcast link there. You can click it, listen to your preferred platform, and of course after you've listened, you can come back to my DM. That's my main point. Like, that is where I mostly take feedback, because that is where my podcast mostly is. So you can leave a feedback, leave a comment, on my DM, and I'll respond. And of course after you've listened, you can share the link to your friends. You can tag me on Instagram while you listen, and give a feedback. It really goes a long way in helping my content grow, in helping push my content. And of course subscribe to this amazing YouTube channel for such inspiring stories, such good content, and of course share it with your friends. And leave a comment down below on how I performed on my first day on my first one-on-one interview. And of course I think you can kuna kama lipa ku comment, leave a comment on this channel, encourage, share the link, encourage people to subscribe. And of course if you have a story you would like to share, feel free to reach out.